They're talking basketball. They're fucking dumb as shit. They talk about basketball, but they will make dumb ass jokes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pod Don't Lie with Sam and Stav. A mournful Pod Don't Lie with Sam and Stav.
There will be no hitting it today, Harry.
There will be no hitting of anything today, Harry, as MSG has been stabbed in the back by the little rat, the little fucking rat with little fucked up hair. Trae Young, credit where credit's due. He had a good game.
He had a good game, but the refs gave him every call down the stretch.
Well, let me say this.
You breathe on this motherfucker. His hair wiggles in the wind.
That's right.
And there's a whistle every time.
And let me say this. Was it Trae Young or was it a Werther's original that somebody dropped in ball hair? I'm not sure because that's what he looks like to me. And that's how I will be referring to him for the rest of these fucking playoffs.
He's been downgraded.
The ball hair Werther's.
For a lollipop in a barbershop to a Werther's and ball hair.
That's right.
Downgraded.
He's been downgraded to he's rolling around in my pube trimmings. And you know what? You're right. He gets these fucking, you'd think this guy was MJ with the Wizards, the kind of respect he gets. Why? He should be getting hammered. Somebody should be fucking him up. I'm with you, man. Let's get fucking 90s Knicks. Where the fuck is Norvel Pell to just fuck him up 5 times in a row? Norvel's got to be in there to smash him.
It's making me crazy, man. I really hate how he plays. And there was that one play where he did that little move, the no honor move, where he
no honor stop
and then just jumps backwards it can't be a foul call if it's unnatural motion to me.
I agree with you, brother. I agree with you 100%. That shooting backwards is fucking complete dog shit.
It makes me the refs who give him that call should be. I don't want to encourage violence, but I think. Yes. A brick should be thrown through their window with a note that says, watch out.
Watch your back. Ref with honor. That's what the brick should say. Remember this. Remember this when Trae Young backs his way into Alec Burks, or should I say Alec Jordan, the way that motherfucker was playing last night. And
he carried us.
We wasted a Pantheon level Burks performance. He was out of his fucking mind.
Well, Alec Burks ain't going to look like Kobe for the whole series, but I'll tell you one thing. Julius Randle ain't going to look like Popeye Jones for the whole series either.
Tough one.
Watch your back.
Tough one for the King. But you know what? We're bouncing back. We're going to fire him up. And look, Sam, you were at that game. We will have a member of Pod Don't Lie representing at each Knicks home game because of the way our schedules broke. I will be at the Wednesday game 2. Hopefully my powers are stronger than Sam's, although...
I started the dialogue. I mean,
you started the dialogue. That's the thing.
I'm tired. My body is aching.
You're tired. You're tired of starting the dialogue all season. It's time for me to pass for you to pass the baton to me. I'm ready to sprint. I'm ready to say wild shit. I'm ready to say it's a conspiracy against New York. I'm ready to say the league is fixed against us. I'm ready to say
it is.
I'm tired of fucking
Nate
McMillan.
Shut the fuck up, Nate McMillan, saying that the league is rigged in our favor. Do you see the calls your little fuckboy leader is getting?
This
is bullshit, man.
Absolute bullshit. Play with some goddamn dignity, Trae. And I don't like Trae. Any superstar whose dad is around too much. What is this? What is this fucking AAU? Why is Trae Young's dad everywhere? You know, it's bullshit. And you know what people have compared him to Harden? Here's the difference. Harden gets pussy. Okay, James Harden had his fucking jersey retired in a strip club. Trae Young lives in Atlanta, and we haven't had one leaked story about him getting into doing some wild shit, getting his little fucking weird baby hairs drenched in some pussy juice. That hasn't happened. We don't have any story of him being oiled up. His hair's being oiled up with, him wiping the baby oil off of strippers' ass cheeks with his very absorbent looking hair. We haven't had that. His hair looks like it's tattered ShamWow particles.
Lemon Pepper Lou got the nickname while on another team. And you can't have one fucking leaked story at Magic City, dude.
You're never at Magic City. They don't have his jersey. They don't even have his fucking, they don't have Trae Young sweats there. They don't even have a picture of Trae Young at Magic City.
Nothing.
Bullshit.
Dude, I really
fucking
hate
tired
Trae
of
it. So the game was crazy. I was in the nosebleeds with my boy John Weisberg. We're up in top. And a dude next to me shows up like, fuck, I'm exhausted. We came straight from the Yankee game. So I'm like, oh, this is a New York garbage human. I like it. And then he takes out Xanax. He goes, you want a bar? And I said, I'm good, dude. Thank you. He wouldn't leave me alone. He keeps talking to me. He's on something else too. Then he starts, I shit you not, blowing lines of coke next to me. The Garden's back, brother.
The Garden's back, baby. What COVID? What? I love this guy. This guy would have offered you a line of cocaine in the middle of the tail end of a respiratory pandemic. He's like, come on, bro. Do it for Ewing. Do it for Pat.
We were in the vaccinated section. So
there you go, dude.
He was being, I guess, at least he had proof that he was vaxxed. But this guy, dude, he's doing lines of blow. I'm taking pictures with my buddy, and he goes, "Why don't you record this instead?" I'm like, "You doing drugs?" Like I'm gonna just reminisce. Oh, that was a cool night.
I would have fucking recorded that. It's like you don't want to be a fucking a rat. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's a problem. I don't want to get the dude in trouble.
Although it would have been so funny to post a video of a guy doing blow in the nosebleeds. New York's back, baby. Yeah, let's see.
It's literally the nosebleeds because he's doing cocaine.
That game was fucking infuriating. Honestly, fuck Trae Young and fuck his little shushing. I just if I'm gonna have to single-handedly will it that he doesn't do that. If I'm in the stands when he does some shit like that again, I don't know what I'll do, man. I really don't know.
The Bogdanovich thing, I was thinking about that a lot because he killed us. He hit so many big shots.
Do you understand how much that one hurts me to have to watch him where it's like he could be in Dante's place in the Bucks starting five?
Dante is just not strong.
I don't have a problem with Dante. Whatever, he's who he is.
But look at who Bogdanovich is versus Dante as a scorer. I know Dante plays hard. No disrespect on Dante, but Bogey is on a different level.
Yeah, and that three, what really fucking killed it was that three where RJ he almost broke it up. He did what he had to do. That was almost a steal. Instead, it's a broken play. Bogdanovich gets it. He's shown in the past, like mostly in EuroLeague, not in the NBA. He hasn't really had the opportunity to, but he's a fucking ice cold player. And it also broke my heart the way Trae Young gets that last bucket because they bring Frankie in. And by the way, that's a fucking tough assignment, right? If you're Ntilikina,
you get two plays in the whole game, and they're both buzzer shots on
Trae Young. That's a brutal assignment, and he holds up okay, but it's like, come on, guys, we got to double. You have to have some help for Frankie. He can't be on an island there.
It's tough though because if you give him help. Literally, this shooting on Atlanta, I knew this would be a problem. The amount of shooting, whether they have Gallo or Collins who can hit the jump shot, or Bogey, obviously. I mean, they've got a lot of scorers. Hunter,
they got a lot of talent. It's fucking annoying, but they don't have heart.
Team.
They don't have the heart of a champion. Okay, all we need is a little bit. We just need a little bit more from King Julius. All right, we need a lot more actually.
Dude, that was a tough one. He's my favorite player. He played horribly. He hit a big three, which I thought was going to help us. Burks to the rescue. Derrick Rose put up good scoring numbers, but a lot of sloppy turnovers from Derrick Rose, which really hurt.
And it's tough because you expect it's got to be I mean, I don't know. Trae Young, he's got to get victimized. We got to pick him out on offense, but that's not really the kind of offense the Knicks play, right? Like
I haven't seen a guy get booed at the Garden as much as I've seen Elfrid Payton get booed when he came in. I mean, it was tough. First play of the second quarter, pulls up for a jump shot, and you kind of just want to be like, I know that you need to open up the rest of the players by hitting something, but it's just not your game. Like he's just never really had the jumper. Quickly came in, hit some big nut shots. So did fucking Obi. Obi had that dunk.
Yep.
The Garden was on fire from that dunk. And then Obi hits a three. And I was like, maybe this dude just needed an audience.
That's right. He's a performer.
He's
a fucking performer. That's true. College player of the year, he's fucking.
He is an energy guy for sure. And energy guys thrive in front of a crowd.
You know how good it must feel to dunk in front of 15,000 people? It's unbelievable. We tell jokes about how our dicks don't work in front of 20 people, and it's a rush, and it's like I can't even imagine dunking in front of 15,000. That would be incredible, dude. Are you kidding me?
It was special. And the RJ dunk was honestly, I think, the best play of the year for the Knicks. Because that was like, oh shit. in the playoffs on a fucking fast break, and it was over a dude. It wasn't like just a dunk. It was like a fucking statement dunk. It gave us some energy back. Yeah, just a really tough loss, man. I mean, look, Trae Young, he is a fat nut player, but he's also, it's weird to be a fat nut player and also a coward at the same
He's got
time.
fat baby nuts, though. That's the difference. He's got pink little fat baby nuts, and they hang low, but I don't respect them. I don't respect his little smooth baby nuts. There's not enough wrinkles somehow. There's no hair on them.
He's Joaquin Phoenix in Gladiator. Like he might get Russell Crowe, but he only got him because he stabbed him in the back before the fight.
Yes, exactly.
And Russell Crowe still killed him, but like he died first, I guess. I don't know. Look, I haven't seen the movie in a while. The point is, he's a con artist.
Fuck Trae Young. I think what we want to say is fuck Trae Young. I'm looking forward to screaming fuck Trae Young at the top of my lungs from the 200 section at MSG.
I was up there, buddy. I was up high.
Oh, listen. I like to spend. What can I say?
My ears pop, brother.
Nah, dude. Listen. That's the thing. When you're Euro trash, when you're just when you're a Mediterranean man with got a little too much money burning a hole in his pocket, you're gonna splurge. I got the aisle too, because I like to go out and take a little piss.
I went aisle too, brother. I didn't buy the tickets till I was in the air because I landed from Utah at like 4:30. So I was like, hey, if this gets delayed, I'm fucked. Once we're in the air, I was like, let's fucking dance. And that connection wasn't good, but I made it work.
Yes,
just like King Julius is going to make it work on Wednesday, brother.
Now I look, all the faith in the world. Do you think it was just a bad game, or do you think everything just kind of the moment came all crashing down on him? Because the last time there was fans like this many people in the arena, he was not this good. Do you know what I mean? Isn't there like a weird thing about that?
But I think with Julius, these are shot. First off, I hear what you're saying, but his game expanded so much this year. Like he's not going to do that again. Like you're not getting a full series of this. He might. Some guys shoot a little worse in the playoffs because look, they came in with a game plan to slow him down. But these are shots that he hits. Like he hits these shots. He definitely had some butterflies, but it's his first time in a series of this magnitude.
Collins also did a better
guy.
Absolutely. Collins also did a better job on him than he's ever done before.
Gallinari was in front of him pretty well. I thought Gallinari did a decent job. I hate that new mohawk he has. It really infuriates me.
Of course. Yeah.
Motherfucker looking like a grunge band era singer, being all cool and shit. Let me tell you something, dog. King Julius, we need him, dude. We just need him to deliver.
Absolutely. I don't respect. Listen, we're anti-Italian for the series for the rest of this series. We're
I've been anti-Italian since we signed Bargnani, dog.
We're anti-Italian. We're anti-baby nuts because no one on the Knicks has baby nuts. Everyone has big fat nuts. Now
it really hurts, and it's like
or they have grown man nuts. They might not be huge.
It is hilarious that it hasn't been playoff basketball in the Garden for so long. So there was that big sign on the Megatron screen that said, "Please keep your chants respectful and no vulgarity." Literally 30 seconds later, fuck Trae Young. Fuck Trae Young. Fuck Trae Young. And I was like, man, I love New York fans. They're lunatics.
Oh, dude, I cannot wait. I'm practicing my fuck Trae Young chant. I'm gonna have it just right. But look, that's a tough one, but we're gonna bounce back, baby. I believe. Fuck the little baby rat, Werther's original ball hair, little baby nuts villain. Trae Young.
He is a villain. He was talking shit in the post game. He goes, "It got real quiet now."
He's talking too much shit.
And then you see Ben Stiller talking shit back to him on Twitter. Stiller and Trae might be the new Spike and Reggie, brother.
I love it. Was Stiller there? Was Stiller at game one? I didn't see him.
I don't know. I saw Stewart.
Spike was definitely there.
Spike was there. John Stewart got a huge ovation. The hot chick from Queen's Gambit was there.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Who else? Tracy was there. There were some big Knicks fans.
Look, all I'm saying is if things aren't looking our way and Trae Young's little baby nuts are bouncing all over our chins, I might have to charge the court. I might have to.
That would be big for PDL.
Okay, let's figure this out.
What a
I need
badass reason to be banned from the Garden.
because I assaulted Trae Young. I'd be banned from all NBA games. I'd be banned from.
That'd be awesome if you just run there and he just immediately does some like Muay Thai move on you and knocks you out.
He just fucks me up immediately.
We're like, oh yeah, they're pro athletes and we're out of shape.
Well, look, I've got the weight advantage. I've got the weight advantage on him. Now, will I be winded from me running somehow from the? I don't even make it. I get to the 100s and I'm like, oh fuck, 1 sec, dude. 1 sec, stop, pause.
Just wake up, Trae Young's giving you mouth to mouth. You're like, fuck, he saved my life.
Yeah. Fat man has heart attack at the Garden. Trae Young saves him after leading a comeback, which was just, not only that, but Trae Young saves my life. It brings energy to the Hawks, and then I actually spur their comeback in overtime.
You know what worries me is a lot of these fuck Trae Young chants. He's the type of dude who will drop 40 out of spite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It worries me, man.
All I know is these fucking, let's go back to really who's the problem. These fucking refs, these fucking zebras. Okay. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. These motherfuckers, you're right. We need to start intimidating them. We need to find a list of their names. If somebody knows who's going to ref the game, and maybe we get a couple friends of ours to go visit them.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find them going to their local bodega with their son and say, oh no, those Skittles are on me.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I insist. I'm like, no, it's on me. And I know where you're going later tonight.
Yeah.
Intimidation.
That's right. I love it because it's like friends of ours. Like if it's in the mafia, that works. But we're just all friends with comedians, so it's just like some neurotic guy going up to him and be like, don't call so many stuff on Trae Young. And he's like, what? And he's like, nothing. Just mumbling. Just one of our fucking shitty friends trying to intimidate a ref.
I was furious some of those calls. It was amazing, some of the bad calls. A lot of guys, Reggie Bullock wasn't hitting his jump shots. Really, Burks is the only Knick who had a really good game one. I mean, Nerlens got hurt.
Nerlens getting hurt sucked. I mean, RJ's played solid.
RJ had moments for sure, but
yeah, no. Burks, Bryant,
is just
Alec Bryant.
They're a better offense than us.
Without question, for sure. And they have more talent top to bottom, but it doesn't matter, baby. It doesn't matter because we're coming back. We're they took home court advantage. We're taking it back.
They're doubling Julius the second he touches the ball. So he's just got to swing it quickly and we have to hit open shots. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, for sure. But look, it's gonna happen. We're gonna turn it around. Everybody, fucking let's go to some
Atlanta basketball, dude. They're not real fans like we are.
Exactly
they don't
right.
go to games. They were in the playoffs every year with that boring ass Hawks team with Joe.
That's
Johnson
right. The proto Kuckenholzer team. Anyway, look, let's talk.
Fans aren't hardcore.
You tell him, Sammy. Let's talk about something more fun, something that can just get our minds off everything, something we didn't have time to cover because we recorded actually on the day of the play-in tournament, the last game, and that's that the Warriors lost to the Grizzlies, and how hilarious that was. And shouts out to John Morant for having a hard-ass dick in that game, 35, 6 and 6, 4 steals. Put his stamp on the game-winning fucking shot.
That move was just like, he's a bad dude.
It was awesome to watch. And then the Grizz follow that up by the way, listen, before we get into all the games, how fucking great was this? Dude, all the games were good. This is the first time. Can you remember a time where there wasn't a stinker in game ones? Because even the Wizards Sixers, you were like, for a second, we're like, what's going on? Even the Nets, remember? First half, we're like, oh, are they going to fucking fuck this? Like, these were all watchable games.
The Nets are not, I don't think the Nets are that impressive thus far. I know their offense can be, but. I mean, look, they could be the Clippers of the East.
But at the same time, they are just too talented comparatively, and there's 3 of them. Like, I know what you're saying, and certainly the same stuff does apply in terms of not having enough time together. I mean, they're up against it worse than any team we've ever seen. They're up against it worse than any team in terms of like actually being a team. I mean, they played 13 games together. They're literally trying to figure it out during the playoffs. And I think you can afford to do that against the Celtics. I mean, that first half Celtics team, it's like, who the fuck even was that? But you can't, their next opponent is going to be, it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks, but it might be the Miami Heat. Either way, that's a team. That's it. Those teams are not someone that you can just completely fuck around with, in my opinion. It would maybe be a little easier for them if they were on the other side of the bracket. No disrespect to us or the Hawks, but I think they could.
Wouldn't they get the Bucks next round though?
No, that's what I'm saying. If they were the number 1 seed, maybe they could keep fucking around a little more, because I think the Hawks or the Knicks are an easier matchup for them.
I don't think you'd fuck around though, even if you got the Heat or anyone. I think
that's what I'm saying. On their side of the bracket, they got to put it together basically against the Celtics. And it was, I mean, I got to say, it's weird seeing Blake Griffin start at center and like be the defensive center. Like, it was weird, dude. It was like he didn't really shoot. It wasn't about his, and like, kudos to him making it work one way or the other. And he's always been a very smart player, but that lineup, it was the first time they ever played together, and they're starting the playoffs with that. So it's like, I see what you're saying Clippers wise, but at the same time, I just think they're just so much better. And no one on that roster has the questions that you have about Paul George. You know what I mean? And they're more accomplished than Kawhi. And KD's more accomplished than Kawhi.
We're talking playoffs. James Harden has questions.
Okay, but you have 2 guys that you have no questions about.
Who have had fat nut.
Very fat nut, not baby nuts, unlike Trae Young. Fat nutted, but also manly and hairy and wrinkled up.
But Kyrie's nuts are fat, but sometimes they go inside the body and they just don't feel like showing up.
That's true. If Kyrie's nuts are out, he's kind of like his nuts are kind of like how a dog's penis is, where it's either out and it's hard. His nuts are either big and flopping, or they're inside his body somehow. I don't know how he does it, but he has I'm not prehensile. That's not the term, but it sounds right. The phrase prehensile nuts sounds funny enough to me, even though I know that means nuts that can bend like a thumb. I know that's not what I'm. Retractable is what I'm looking for.
They go inside his body for personal reasons. Like, I don't know how that works. It's like it's hard to explain.
His nuts need a minute, okay? Everybody, they're tired of flopping around everywhere. So yeah, I guess you could say that, but at the same, I just think they have so much talent, and the Celtics aren't going to be an issue. But listen, I hope it's true, because I think, and again, that's the other thing. You don't want to. Let's also. What we're going to do, this podcast, is overreact to game 1s, which usually is not a big deal, right? Like LeBron, even like the Suns, LeBron always loses game 1, right? Like he always does.
Pressure's on, but I still think the Lakers are winning the series, but pressure's on, man, because the Suns team ain't no joke. It sucks to see Chris Paul get injured again in the playoffs. I know,
brutal. And you know what? Okay, so I'm a little bit going to contradict myself, because I just said LeBron always loses game 1, but Anthony Davis got straight up outplayed by DeAndre Ayton, like straight up.
Davis has not looked the same. I know he's had some big games, but
his shooting is way off since he came back, right? Yeah. Like his 3-point percentage, I think since he returned, is 20%. Brutal. Ayton had 21 and 16. He was just fucking, incredible. 10 for 11, didn't miss a fucking shot.
I think great power forwards can have a bad game 1 and still come back for the rest
yeah. I agree with you. That's a trope that I agree with too, my friend. But still, and LeBron didn't look great, but at the same time, like I said, he always loses game 1. But I will say, it's more alarming how good the Suns looked, right? Like Ayton did not seem to have any butterflies. I mean, Devin Booker.
If you're the Lakers, do you kind of wish you lost to the Warriors so you could get the Jazz in the first round?
Oh, dude, the way fucking with Donovan Mitchell sitting out, and that's another thing. There's a lot of weird shit going on. Because
when is Mitchell back?
He was supposed to play this game. He was supposed to play game 1. But apparently the Jazz training staff has final say, and they held him out. And it was very strange, man, because last night it seemed like the players were throwing him under the bus. There was a Gobert quote that was like, I try to stay out of all this because it's just going to give me a headache. Hopefully he's good for next game. That's all I'm worried about. And I think Bogdanovich said something similar. And last night I read it as shots at Donovan Mitchell. today there was some kind of like spin from his team or like maybe even from the Jazz internally to say that no, it wasn't him. He really wanted to play. It was
Of course he wanted to play. The guy's a competitor. It's clearly up to the staff. Also, sorry, Rudy, but you don't really get to take shots at people for medical reasons after you fucking spread COVID to the entire league.
Well, it's not for that. You don't get to take shots when you foul out of that game. Yeah. Like, come on, dude. You're okay. You're supposed to be the lead. I mean, all regular season, like pundits and shit say, well, Donovan Mitchell's their scorer, but Rudy's really the MVP of the Jazz. It's like, okay, well, show it. You have an opportunity to show it, and you foul out of the game. And once he's out of the game, it was easy for the Grizzlies. It was easy to get to the cup.
Rudy's the anchor, but Mitchell's the best player.
Yeah, but in terms of how their system works, I think is what people would say.
I just think you don't really have that off. Mitchell offensively is what brings everyone together the way Rudy does on defense. Because Mitchell's driving and jump shooting ability, it opens up every jump shot for, Conley, for Ingles, for Clarkson, for anybody, for Bogdanovich. You need Donovan in there for the whole team to work.
I think he's much more important. I don't know. I think their system works. I think he's important for crunch time because I think their system works pretty good. Although I will say last night, they just shot the ball bad. And for this team that everyone's talking about, like the best fucking 3-point shooting team of all time, they shot 25%.
Right, but that's my exact point is that they don't have a guy to attack the rim without. Donovan. Well, but that gets you a lot of open threes.
But they've been playing without him. I for sure they're better off. I'm just saying it shouldn't have affected them this much. That's basically my point. You shouldn't lose to the Grizzlies.
I think
You're the fucking one seed.
I think even without Mitchell, they're the better team.
Well, for sure. It was just a, lack of fire thing.
But
and the Grizzlies, the Grizzlies have fire.
And the Grizzlies had the best offensive player without Mitchell for sure.
Yeah, but it was but last night it was fucking Dylan Brooks. That's what's crazy. He was out of his mind. Who, tip of the hat to a former guest, friend of the show, our friend JC Covan. Sorry, I'm having a fucking stroke. JL Covan, who called him Dominican Jason Sudeikis on Twitter, which he does have a bit of a
damn.
He does have a Dominican,
like
yeah. So I'm sure JL is having a brutal one.
Well, I was with Jazz fans all weekend, and a guy showed up in a Joe Ingles Jesus Christ shirt. Those people were rocking vintage Jazz gear. They're very into their Jazz.
Oh man,
and they were scared. Hilarious. They were like, it's weird to be a 1 seed and be scared, but I guess you never want to be the 1 seed on some level, because if you're the 2 or 3 seed, you give up home court, but you have a little less. Little smaller expectations. I
don't know. In the East, it's nice to be the 1 seed right now because Philly doesn't have to play Milwaukee. In situations where there's a clear top 3, it's nice to be the 1 seed.
That's true. It was top 3 for sure.
Because right now Philly's cruising. If Philly has to beat the Wizards, and look, the Wizards gave him a little bit of a scare. Shouts out to Tobias Harris, 37 fucking points, played out of his mind, played great.
He's the key on offense because when he plays well.
Yeah. And look,
it all comes together for them.
Obviously, we'll be rooting for the Knicks when they make it to the next round. But from a Philly perspective, you should be able to beat either the Hawks or the Knicks if you're as good as the fucking process dictates. Certainly, you don't have the excuse that Brooklyn has because they would have to play, the third best team, right? They have a harder route to the Eastern Conference Finals. Then if Philly doesn't make it to the ECF, they're pretty fucked.
That next round for Brooklyn's going to be interesting. I expect them to win, but it's going to be a test for sure. I mean, would it be Brooklyn and the Bucks the next round?
Yeah, it would be.
Or Brooklyn and the Heat.
It will be Brooklyn and the Bucks, my friend. And
imagine if the Bucks had Bogdanovich, I think they would be maybe the favorite.
I fucking know. It breaks my fucking heart. That fucking piece. Anyway.
Drew Holiday had a huge play in that game, that running the floor move. Obviously, Middleton hit the bucket. I mean, if Giannis has those dudes make big plays.
And that's what it is, dude. That's exactly what it is. Because Giannis has 26 and 18. Right. And he's flying and he's having great defensive plays.
Didn't shoot the ball very, very well, but
yeah, didn't. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that's who he should be. That's how this team should be organized. This guy is, to borrow a phrase from you, your engine, right?
Yeah.
This is the guy that makes it all go. This is the guy that on all, he's like a force that puts it together for who your team runs on for 46 minutes. His skill set when it gets down to 2 minutes is not ideal. That's fine. He's still getting you in all these games. He's still a force of nature. He still can be used in interesting ways if you do interesting stuff on offense.
Right.
But if you want to play iso ball, yes, good. I loved seeing Middleton do that. And by the way, they did that a lot this season where he's the guy who gets it in crunch time, or Drew gets some shit in crunch time. And look, Giannis has like free throw shooting is an issue, right? But he's a guy that I think he can improve. I hope he can improve. He's a guy that works on his game constantly, and I could see it happening. Even his threes that are bad, right? They tick up just a little bit.
We've talked about it. It's not the three. He needs that Kawhi mid-range shot for the fourth quarter.
I agree with you. I'm just saying free throw shooting was really the issue there because he could have put it away a couple times.
Everyone compares him to Shaq. He started shooting free throws. I was like, yeah, he's Shaq, dude.
He's Shaq. That's exactly it. He's Shaq. And the same way, it's like Shaq needed a creator at the end of the games. Let's not fucking and listen, Shaq was a dominant force. Don't get me wrong. Shaq at his absolute apex is better than Giannis, right? Fine, of course. Shaq is one of the greatest of all time.
That's not taking anything away from Giannis. That's
absolutely not. That's just saying
dominant player of our lives.
It's just like Shaq was like, even taller and had a fucking how much 50 pounds on Giannis, who's a fucking freak of nature. You're right, probably more, probably almost close to 100 pounds. But at the same time, just to be this version of Shaq, he's a dominating force most of the time, and you need somebody to fucking. You don't run big men. It's hard in crunch time. We know that. We just know that that's the case. So it was a good win for the Bucks. Jimmy had a bad game, which doesn't. It's
hard though for a Jokic or Embiid in crunch time because of their jump shooting ability.
Yeah, that's true. Jokic. You're right. And Embiid had stretches during the season where he was basically looking like fucking. He had that game against the Raptors, I think, was it, where he was just like hitting mid-rangers. It was insane. He was looking like fucking Kobe out there. But still my hypothesis is that is hard to pull off because of the size, because of the swarming defense, because no matter how good a big man is, his ball handling is just not as good as a guard, especially when they don't call, like, you'll probably get fouled if you're a big man in those like crunch time situations, and unless it's egregious, they might not call it. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. I still think effectively it's just easier for a wing to get crunch time offense going.
Yeah.
But look, that Bucks Heat game was I was freaking out the whole fucking time, especially because Jimmy did not play well, right? Like he just didn't. And it's like, if you drop that game, and look, both teams, I think, have a right to feel good about what happened, because if you're the Heat, you can say, well, we lost by 2, but Jimmy shot weird. Bam did not play great. And now, having said that, though, they also the other guys did shoot the lights out of the
Duncan
ball.
Robinson was just ice cold.
Like, look, I know Duncan Robinson's good, but is he going to shoot over 50% from 3 again? Is he going to have 7? Is he going to go 7 for 13? I mean, possibly, but is Goran Dragic going to shoot 50% from 3? Are those guys going to combine to go over 50? I don't think so. Even Hero, who had 40, it's like Dragic is not. Maybe Robinson. I don't know, but. So I think it kind of balances out. We'll see. But I mean, obviously it's great to keep that. You can't drop that game.
Huge win. And that was probably that, and the Knicks Hawks were the tightest games. Like two of the most, biggest nail biters for sure.
I mean, you look at all these games though, and it's like Grizzlies Jazz 3-point game.
Yeah.
Knicks Hawks 2-point game. Suns
but
Lakers.
The way the Knicks lost was fucking heartbreaking. And
heartbreaking.
Also it made no sense to have Alec Burks do the inbounds pass. He's the only guy hitting jump shots.
It made absolutely no sense.
And then why are they giving Julius the ball with his back to the basket?
With his back to the basket, why isn't he coming off something? Why aren't we doing something? Why aren't we just like designing something?
If we have someone run off and just go for the fucking win, that would have lit the Garden up.
Yeah, try it. Get a good look at it. But you're right. Burks passing it. Why? Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Our best jump shooter that night by far. Bullock will not shoot like that again, I hope.
Yeah.
We need Bullock to hit some shots. We need Julius to hit some shots. That was a fucking tough one, dude.
Well, let's also give credit around the league too. I think listen, Blazers faithful. I apologize. I thought you were gonna get smoked. I don't know why.
I said Blazers in 7. I still think it's going 7 to the Blazers.
That's gonna be a better series than I thought. Although you know what? It might it looked like they just kind of did the fuck it, let Jokic get everything. And that might work. You know what I mean? Like that might work because it plays into his. He doesn't want to be the guy that scores. Like he does want to fucking set his teammates up, but
It's not his game. And when you have Jamal Murray, it's a little easier to have the other guy take over. Just say, here, you take over.
And so, you know, salute to Terry Stotts, who's absolutely coaching for his job, because that was an interesting game plan. And Jokic ends up with 34 and 16,
and Dame at 13 dimes. I mean,
yeah. I mean, really, they have no one to guard him. Campazzo's not going to be able to fucking do it. I mean, it's just like it's a tough for the Nuggets. So I fucked up on that pick.
Well, we don't know. It's only game 1, but I stand by what I said, and you know.
We'll but it'll be nice, and you know, listen, I'm happy
Dallas as well. You got to give Dallas
credit. Huge win.
I want the Clippers to lose because maybe Kawhi looks around and goes, maybe I need to be in a different location, man.
That's right. Kawhi not New York, baby. Bring Kawhi. Let's make a run these next couple years. Let's start the fucking dialogue.
Kawhi and Julius, like why? Yeah, Kawhi not. Why Dude, you look at like what RJ's doing, you get you get quickly. I mean, this is kind of a nice squad, man.
Listen, you get Kawhi, you get fucking fat butt cheeks down in Tampa to come up for a year. You know what I'm saying? We got cap space,
Kawhi
open up the pocket.
And Kyle Lowry.
Kawhi and Kyle Lowry for 2 years. We make a nice little run. Plus the young guys get experience. And then afterwards we look around, we decide what we want to do. There might be other guys lining up to come to New York at that point.
I really want Dallas to win now.
I've always wanted Dallas to win just because it's funny. The Clippers have you want to talk about no honor as a franchise. They have no fucking honor. They tried to duck the Lakers. They tried specifically to get the Mavs. Congratulations, you dumb fucking pieces of shit, because Luka carved you up for 31, 10, and 11. His third playoff triple-double. The motherfuckers played 7 playoff games. Yeah. He almost is 50% 30 triple-doubles. It's crazy. Crazy.
Incredible. You know, Tim Hardaway Jr. playing very well.
Yep.
Good for him, man. He was
Yeah. You know what? I hate to say it. It almost looks like we lost the Tim Hardaway Jr. for Dennis Smith Jr. trade. It looks like
Tim Hardaway Jr.'s problem in New York was he never had a good point guard to get him open.
No, I know. And listen,
with a good point guard, yeah, he's a valuable piece. I mean, he's still overpaid, but he's a valuable piece.
Yeah, 100%. So, you know, these games have been really fucking good.
3. I mean, that's legit, man. My man Mook just disappeared in that game.
He did. Yeah, the Clippers
0 for 6 from 3 from my man Mook.
The Clippers, and yeah, Luka just says you're too fucking small. He just goes right at Patrick Beverly hilariously. Really, really fucking good stuff. These games have been really fucking awesome. I'm very, very excited to see what happens. And you know, tonight we're recording this Monday, so we haven't covered what happened tonight, which will be Bucks Heat, Denver and the Blazers. So we won't have gotten to that. But we're here. We're going to figure out the schedule. We'll probably hit you with a couple bonuses, including what we're about to hit you guys with, where we wanted to give you a playoff recap, just the boys. We knew you wanted to hear us react to the villain, the little baby nutted villain, Trae Young. We know you wanted to hear us react to all the games, but we also had an opportunity to have an incredible guest, one of the funniest guys of all time. One of the just like a titan, seriously, like a guy we everything he does is so fucking funny, so good.
Cancel therapy for this, man.
Sam canceled therapy. Do you understand what that means for a Jew with a bad back on the Upper West Side to cancel therapy for something? This is unheard of. So we've got Adam McKay coming up next, a little bonus. Basically, you're getting 2 pods for the price of 1. So we got the hard dick legend himself, Adam McKay, coming up right now. And so that's a little bonus for you guys. So we hope you enjoyed this segment of the podcast, and we're about to hit you with a part 2 right now. And listen, while you're waiting for Adam McKay to come on and discuss hoops, discuss the NBA, discuss some of his fun projects. Why don't you fucking lighten up, bro? Because we see you over. You think we can't see you? We actually, the camera on your phone, we're looking at your face right now, and we see that you're uptight. And what you need to do is smoke a little bit of high quality CBD from our friends over at Cushy Dreams. Isn't that right, Sam?
I love that stuff, man. Especially Create, Dream, Peace. That's my shit, man.
They got these beautiful strains. You fire those bitches up, and you're fucking floating on ice. Floating on ice, like that's a phrase. Look, shut up. It doesn't matter what you're floating on, you fucking idiots. The point is, you want to get some of the highest quality CBD in the fucking game. This shit is no joke. What are you gonna smoke it like a little baby? You're gonna smoke it like you got baby nuts, like Trey, or I'm sorry, you're gonna vape it? Are you gonna eat chewy little fucking edible CBDs like your little baby with little baby Trae Young nuts? No, you're gonna smoke it like a fucking man. You're gonna smoke it like Chris Middleton. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna smoke it like King Julius in Game 2. You're gonna smoke it like Luca. That's what you're gonna do. So go right now to fucking cushydreams.com, and they got all kinds of shit. Like we said, they got Create, Peace, different types of strains for different situations. They got little joints, the half grams. That's my shit. Sam, that's your shit as well, I know. But they also got the full grams, full gram joints if you want to smoke it, that little ritual of a nice fat joint. Or you got your own little piece. You want to throw that shit in a bubbler. You want to fucking roll a little spliffaducciani. They got that shit in 3.5 gram tins as well. So fire that bitch up, enjoy it, and most importantly, use our promo code PODDON'T. So go to cushydreams.com. That's KUSHY dreams.com and use promo code PODDON'T. That's PODDONT. And you will get 20% off your next order. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pod Don't Lie. We got a very special guest with us right now, the hilarious, one of the best in the biz, Adam McKay. Thank you so much for doing the podcast, dude.
Thanks, you guys, for having me. I appreciate it, Stav, Sam. I'm a fan. I'm a regular listener.
Wow, that's hilarious.
That's insane to me. That's very cool, though. Thank you for listening.
Yes. Thank you. Maybe if you listen to this podcast like 100 times, then we'll be equal for the amount of times I watched Anchorman in college. But yeah, dude, thank you so much for doing the show. We were just venting basically for a half hour about the Knicks, but I'm sure you got a chance to watch some playoff hoops. Do you have any? You want to get your
so good?
Great, right?
Better. Oh, there's nothing better than the first round where you get those like 4 games every day. And then because of the COVID, the games you really don't always know who's going to win. But I just got to say for the Knicks, I know that was brutal. I know that was a little bit, you had your heart ripped out, but I compare it to like the first time you go to like the high school kids keg party when you're like in 9th, 10th grade and like one of the seniors keys your car and it feels shitty, like someone beats the shit out of you or your buddy, like you're kind of made fun of. But the bottom line is you went to the keg party with the high school kids. And I do feel like getting your heart ripped out like what happened yesterday was oddly a good thing.
That's a great analogy. That feels a lot. Yes, exactly. It's 100%. You're a high school senior and you snuck into a college party and it seems like you're about to kiss the girl and then no, you actually just threw up all over yourself when you're leaning in. That was exactly Trae Young with that dagger was just like a little spit up, a little natural ice coming up all over your shirt.
Exactly. I feel like, you know what? Randall needed that. Barrett needed that. Like everyone needed the kind of you're about to kiss the girl and it turns out she wasn't coming on you. It was all a prank and everyone starts laughing at you.
Yeah, she pantses you and everyone sees your little soft dick at the party.
Exactly. Like you need that humiliation. The other thing I've noticed, have you noticed Knicks fans? And like I said, I listened to the show and Sam, I've heard you do it. You guys sound fucking insane lately in this way. You sound like the friend who hasn't been drinking for 10 years and started drinking again and is like so excited about it. Is like, you know what? turns out I can drink.
Yeah.
I can have 2-3 drinks, and it's not a big deal. You know what I did last night? I had 2 gin and tonics, and I went home. And in like 6 months, it's going to get really ugly.
Absolutely.
You guys sound like you just discovered basketball like a month ago. You sound crazed.
I had more than 2 drinks last night. It was you know what's rough is it's funny, we are the kids who finally went to the party. I feel like we've been just outside the party getting pantsed for the last 7 years, and now we're getting pantsed inside the party. So you're right, it is a step up.
It's progress.
Yeah,
It's progress.
I don't even know, honestly, I hate to be harsh, but I don't even think you guys were outside the party. I think you guys were like at your aunt's birthday party at like Macaroni Grill with your grandparents. Like,
100%. And yes, I can't. It's true. In 6 months, Sam is going to be doing the equivalent of just like drinking hand sanitizer in the bathroom. It's going to get bad. If the off season goes bad, it's not going to be pretty. 100%. I'm already looking forward to it.
You all sound like the guy who sold Travis Bickle the weapons in Taxi Driver. Like you all have that like dead-eyed kind of speed addict tone of voice.
Oh no.
Yes, dude. It's
and with Randall and Barrett, there's no reason once we get one more player, we're immediately going to be a top 2 team. Like, whoa, settle the fuck down.
But you know what? You said that, and I believe for a second.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Sam was about to yes and you, but just on the character. He was about to be like, no, that guy's making a lot of sense.
Right before you came on, I said, if the Clippers lose, maybe we get Kawhi.
Literally.
Kyle Lowry.
That is deranged.
Literally
deranged.
not 7 minutes ago, we were just doing, well, look, Kawhi could want to leave, and then what? Kyle Lowry sign them for 2 years, let the kids grow in that too. Literally, we were doing that. So you're 100. We might even be at the hand sanitizer stage already, is what it turns out. But yeah, so that was seriously a great, like, I can't remember the last time all the game ones were like this good. You know, they were like every single one had something to watch for, you know?
Oh my God, Ja Morant. Oh,
love that
man.
guy.
He's just so fun. And I love he's already got this veteran game where he like takes it easy in the first quarter, gets the team involved, lets Brooks get off, lets some other guys get moments. And then you could just see in the fourth quarter, he's like, all right, it's teardrop time. And 6-7 times in a row, like just teardrops. I love that guy. I love his game.
He is so, because to me, and I know you're a big Iverson guy too, but to me, that was my favorite. Like when I was growing up, that was like exactly he was just my guy, you know, when I was against all odds, the fat Greek kid that made the middle school basketball team. And I was wearing the Iversons. I'm a 5'7" center, you know, in middle school, you know, and it was I'm wearing the questions, you know, I loved him so much. And to me, Ja is sort of like the next, like he is the one who reminds me of Iverson the most, where it's like, he's got that spirit, you know. It's like people say it about Westbrook. Well, Westbrook's a little too athletic, and not to say Ja's not, but he's almost like the evolutionary AI, because he's not this like, he's a pogo stick jumper, but he doesn't look it the way Westbrook is. Like, you know, Westbrook's like a Terminator, but with Ja, that's what I love about him. He feels like that kind of guy, and he's, you know, he's got some of the drawbacks. He's not as efficient as like a modern player. He feels a little old school in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny hearing people talk about, because his regular season this year was a little bit, ever so slightly disappointing. Right. I really thought he was going to go to 23 a game, 8 assists. I thought the jumper would round into form a little quicker. But I did have to remember, am I correct here? It almost sounds crazy. It was only his second year, right?
Second year.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. And so I think, you know, we still have another probably late next year, the year after. You're already seeing it in the playoffs here where this guy's going to jump up. He does have a veteran kind of calmness to him that thank God Iverson didn't have. Iverson did feel like he was playing the last basketball game that is ever going to be played at all times. And like he always felt like he had a wound, even though he didn't. He always felt like he was like bleeding from his head or was like gut shot. There was such drama to him that Morant is like much calmer than that. But yeah, I love him. So many fun players to watch this year. I love when guys emerge too, like late in their career, like Jordan Clarkson suddenly is like, he's a guy I want to watch all the way to a crappy game yesterday. But yeah, I feel like across the board, and then watching Jason Tatum have to like be the sole guy for the Celtics, like drop 40. That's been fun. I even like watching the teams that are losing are kind of even entertaining this time around.
Yeah. The Wizards even are like they gave the Sixers a real fight, and it's like just Westbrook and Beal. It's just like, yeah, let's just see what you guys got. It was very interesting.
How many teams have 2 all NBA players on them? I was actually thinking about that yesterday. You have like AD and LeBron, you have Kawhi and PG. Like there's a couple teams, but Wizards
maybe Phoenix maybe with Booker and Paul. Maybe.
If we're talking about like guys you could make an argument for, then you got Phoenix. Then you could make the argument for. I think Mitchell will probably just miss it, but you can make the argument for Mitchell and Gobert. But yeah, the fact that, but it's like not
5
many
teams, 6 teams in the whole NBA, and the Wizards are one
Philly,
of them.
right? Philly as well.
Right.
Philly's got who? Embiid and
I mean, Simmons has got a shot, doesn't he? Just
third team, maybe.
I don't know. I think, but he's that just maybe a hair under, and then Tobias is one of those guys that's just a hair under that. But in terms of just like, you're right, top. I mean, because Westbrook fucking the last month.
But he's not making third team. Do you think he is?
No, but
I think he is.
I think he's definitely he's in the conversation. I mean, I'm just talking about that last month though. He was. I mean, let me see if I can find this. I don't know.
Well, you could even just do it like has made all NBA
right.
5 years. Sure. Because you're right. Like Westbrook could not make third team, although I think he should. Beal's definitely going to make it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Beal makes it.
But Westbrook's made it like what 5 times in his career, 6 times, and I mean he's definitely an all NBA type of guy.
And certainly this second half version of Westbrook, because look, the other thing about the Wizards, they're completely decimated by COVID. Russ gets COVID. He has that thigh or the quad injury in the bubble that isn't healed when he gets traded. The first month, we're sitting here, we're like, whoa, fuck, maybe Houston won that trade. And then it's just like he becomes that player that he was. He's done this before with the Rockets before he hurts his quad, before the bubble. He had that 1 month where he's fucking out of his mind, MVP form. And that's the thing. Russ, when he's healthy and everything's going, still is that guy. It'll be very interesting to see if he can do that next year. Because if the Wizards play like this all year, they're, what are they? They're easily in the play-in and maybe even trying to get in that 6th seed.
Well, we picked them to be higher. I expect them to be better than they were this year. But I don't think Westbrook makes it this year because he's against Curry, Lillard, Paul, Booker. I think there's too much competition. Luka.
Beal's probably going to take the honestly, there's no way 2 Wizards get. And I think Beal, you might want to. That's an interesting conversation though, because it's like the body of the season versus like who had the better absolute apex. Because Russ, there's not a player in the league that had a better month than Russ had last month. I mean, it's crazy.
It's unbelievable. I always like doing this test too, which is in my whole life of going to live basketball, who are the most breathtaking players I've ever seen. And Russ is on that list. I mean, I saw him play a game about 6-7 years ago, and I couldn't take my eyes off him. I was with a buddy. I was like, this is crazy how much faster he is, what he's doing on the court. Iverson would go on that list. I mean, I only saw Jordan in his latter half. I saw him in the fadeaway jump shot phase, so I didn't get to see early Jordan. But Russ, there's no one like him. I mean, it's going to be a trivia question in 10 years. Who's the only guy ever to average a triple-double who didn't make all NBA if he doesn't make it?
Right, for sure.
It's like Ted Williams when he hit 406, didn't win the MVP. DiMaggio won it. Yeah.
I met Jeremy Lin after a show once, and I said, "Who is the hardest player to guard in the NBA?" And he said, "No question, Russell Westbrook." Because we're all freaks, but he's a freak amongst freaks.
Yeah, I mean the thing with crazy.
That's good. I asked Nate Robinson. By the way, I got to tell you my most pathetic little sweaty basketball claim to fame that I have.
Please,
we all have these delusional stories in our head that are way inflated.
Yes,
but I asked Nate Robinson who the hardest guy to guard in the NBA, and he said Chris Paul. He said Chris Paul. I mean, this is 8 years ago,
right?
But he said Chris Paul is the fastest guy in the NBA. And then the other thing I said to him was, "You're about to do the slam dunk contest. Can I do the annoying thing of telling you some ideas for slam dunks?" And he laughed. And then I told him 3 ideas, and he did one, and he won the slam dunk contest.
Wow! Yeah. Holy shit! Yeah. That's so much better. That's crazy.
I told him, I said, "Can you put a sandwich on the rim, go up and dunk, hook your arm and take a bite out of the sandwich?" He said, "I can't do that. Do you know how hard that is?" I go, "Okay." I go, "I'm 0 for 1. And then the other idea I told him was, I said, "Dunk over Dwight Howard." And he goes, "You're crazy, man. He's not going to let me do that." I go, "Here's the secret. Dwight Howard is a ham bone. He loves being the center of attention. He will say yes." And Nate, and again, Nate, this is how I knew it was my idea, because he goes, "You're crazy." And I go, "Just ask him. What's it hurt?" And then I turned on the slam dunk contest. I want to get like a signed affidavit from Nate Robinson, because it'll just, that story seems so pathetic saying it out loud. Like there's no proof of it, but yeah, anyway, but he said CP3. He said he's the hardest guy he's ever guarded.
He's slippery. He's got handles. He's so smart. I mean, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah. And it's enduring right now. I mean, the older he gets, I'm sure he's not easier to guard, because it's just like he doesn't blow by you anymore, but man, he be annoying, because he's just like, he's like surgical at this point.
And he's dirty as the day is long. I mean,
he's absolutely, we absolutely, Trae Young is a villain with no honor, but we have to admit he got some of that from Chris Paul too. I mean, Chris Paul, that backstop move, that's Chris Paul a little bit. It feels more annoying when Trae Young is doing, because he's so slight, it's like he's clearly trying to get the foul. There's no like power or anything there, but that's a Chris Paul special. It was backing in and getting that, making your man
always
backing into a guy.
Hey, what's Trae Young's nickname? Does he have a nickname?
We've been calling him Baby Nuts recently. We were just calling him.
I got a good one for him. What about John Wilkes Booth? Because he's like an assassin in the night. He's slipping into like the opera box with a little mini derringer sliding out of his sleeve. Yeah,
John Wilkes Booth had more honor than what Trae plays with.
Yeah, at least he believed in something. Let's all hope he finds the same fate as John Wilkes Booth. I hope before game 2 he's just in a barn with a broken leg somewhere, not being tended to.
Man, he really
killer. Oh.
He is hated the way, like, I haven't been to a Knicks game since the 90s against the Pacers, and I was there last night, and man, the hatred for Trae Young felt almost on Reggie's level, because we're starved, and he was embracing the villain's role. That post-game conference, I was like, ooh, I hate this guy.
Hate him, dude. Hate him. I can't wait. So Sam went to game 1, which is brutal. I'm going to game 2, so I'm excited for the fuck Trae Young chance. I'm practicing. I'm getting ready to go.
Oh, it's so fun, man. To see the Garden lit up like that. I mean, the noise that was pumping in there. Yeah. I used to go to games back in the 90s. I went during the Larry Johnson, Allen Houston era, and we saw some good game. And you forget, like, that's the Larry Johnson 4-point play in the playoffs. Like, they weren't.
Were you there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I'm sorry. No. I was not at the 4-point play, but I watched it on TV in New York, opened my window afterwards, and heard everyone screaming out their window afterwards, which was really cool. But I saw a bunch of games live. Lorne Michaels used to have fancy ass tickets, and he would give them to us occasionally. And it was so fun, man.
We've been bit. I've personally been bit by the SNL ticket situation because me and Sam never get them, right? Like we were working for MSG. We had like a local show here and it was fun. We liked doing the show and they would not give us tickets, right? Finally, we get them for Bucks Knicks because, I'm a Giannis fan too. I'm literally wearing a Knicks starter jacket, but underneath I have the Giannis Greece national jersey. It's blue. So it fades in.
Oh, I love it.
And so me and Sam are having the time of our lives. We're courtside. We don't, this is rarefied air for us. But we're friends with some of the people on SNL. So we're up there halftime in that little box and, I don't want to miss the game. It's like, I got to get back there. I got to see what happens, but we're about to leave and Michael Che's like taking his time eating some crab cakes or something. And I like get up and I'm like, all right, let's fucking go guys. And Che's like, come on, man. I'm still eating. And I'm like, all right, whatever. What are we going to miss the first minute? What we missed was Giannis dunking over Tim Hardaway Jr. Directly in front of our seats. If you watch that replay, there's 2 empty seats that should have had me and Sam in them. And when I missed my favorite player ever with one of his career-defining highlights, and I was gonna have front row seats. To this day, it's fucking brutal.
Adam, what he's leaving out here is this is the last game Porzingis played as a Knick.
Yeah,
Porzingis goes down, and he was out playing Giannis in the first half. He was having a great game, and we just watch him go down. And it was one of the things where it was like, we knew it. I mean, someone brought in the air, they're like, yeah, it's torn. He's done for at least a year. And it was like, that was it.
And still, that was the second most tragic thing that happened. The first being missing the dunk. And then brutal. The other thing I left out was we remember we rode the elevator with Jesse Jackson. Yeah, we were in the elevator with Jesse Jackson.
Pretty cool.
I was starstruck, so I just was staring at him.
Yeah,
he just walked over to me and shook my hand. I think he's been famous for so long. He's like, I just shake people's hands if they.
You literally had your mouth open, and then him and Dolan were just chopping it up the whole time, which was so bizarre to watch. They were just hanging out.
It was 97 and I had a buddy in Chicago. We were in Chicago doing Upright Citizens Brigade, Second City, all that kind of stuff. And, we're basically sketch comedy improvisers. So we're as broke as you can humanly be.
Right.
Not be like, living at home again. And a buddy of mine was like, hey, I'm going to wait at the beginning of the season. I'm going to go wait in line and I'm going to get tickets to a Bulls game. Do you want in? And I was like, yes, I want in because you're going to get them at face value. So they're whatever, $40 back then. So 4 months later, the game rolls around. A buddy of mine's coming. He has 3 tickets. A friend of mine, Pat McCartney, myself, and this guy, Keith. And I go meet him and it's Bulls versus the Hornets, the old school Larry Johnson Hornets. Whoa. And we're waiting outside and people are saying, I got tickets, $200, $300, $400. And I look at my friend Keith and I go, Keith, we're broke. I go, obviously you get your money back. It's the most dick move I've ever done in my entire life. But believe me, there is Greek justice at the end of this.
Yeah.
So my buddy and I are like, we got to sell the tickets. So we sell the tickets for $300 a piece or $250 or something like that. Wow. I think it was like $250. And my buddy is like, you guys are assholes. And we're like, we know we're broke. We have to do it. You have a job. We don't.
Right.
And we go to a bar and this Polish bar in Wicker Park, back before Wicker Park was gentrified. And we go there and we have money. So we just start drinking up a storm. And we're doing shots. We're just down in beers. We're in our 20s. So fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
And we're watching the game. And it turns out to be an all-time MJ game. He scores like 52, and there's 2 of his all-time highlight dunks are in the same game. Like, so if you see the highlight reel of the 10 best MJ dunks, 2 of them were in that game.
Oh, no.
And by the time we walk out of the bar, we got like $80 left or whatever it is. We're hungover. And my friend Keith is like, you missed one of the greatest MJ games of all time.
Wow.
And it was good. So we were dicks. We were assholes.
Yeah.
We got hangovers and we missed. I mean, people say it in sports. It's ridiculous, but almost without exaggeration, history. So yeah, it was a good
absolutely.
night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's so fucking funny. Yeah, you're just fucked up off vodka and eating pierogies. You're like, no, and you still can't pay your rent. You're like, I love
Adam,
it though.
Adam, who are your favorite guys to watch besides Ja right now?
Oh, let's see. Who am I loving right now? God, there's so many good young players. I mean, just for this year, it was like a fan was coaching the Pelicans, putting Zion at the point guard.
Yeah.
That was just one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So anytime they were playing, I have the NBA ticket. I was gonna watch Zion playing the point guard. Then there's like weird guys that I love. Like I just love Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
I just love what like a stone cold pro he is. I love watching the way he plays at this even keel. I love that he's not an all-star. I think it makes him more enjoyable. I love Devin Booker. I love that Devin Booker just has these ups that you don't expect to like show up. I love how he could just shoot fading away anywhere on the floor.
Yeah.
I think I've never seen, obviously it's part of it's because the game is so offensive minded now, but I've never seen this many enjoyable players in the league at the same time. There's like 25 guys that I want to watch. Ja Morant's right up there too. I love Ja Morant.
Yeah, it's insane. It does feel like we're just in such a talent rich era. And it's crazy because you grow up and you think like, oh, it's not as good without Jordan, right? Like after Jordan, it takes a dive. But then you look back at those years and it's like, it's T-Mac, it's AI, it's Kobe, Shaq. It's just Garnett, Duncan.
Oh.
There's so much. And then that's what's going on now. And Starbury, when he was burning bright, he was like a comet. Even that year of Steve Francis. Are you kidding me? He
amazing.
was awesome.
It's crazy. I think they're going to start having other I think it's going to happen like with soccer, where there's going to be so many talented guys that you're going to see the Spanish league become a viable option, where the Spanish league is going to start to have teams. This is like 5-6 years from now, but I think there's going to be like La Liga, the Premiership, Bundesliga, where you're going to see 4 or 5 basketball leagues around the world that are competitive.
That'd be interesting. Right now, I'm the kind of guy that would watch La Liga. I would watch the Euro Cup. I mean, I have like Olympiacos as my team. I have a literal team that I root for in the European. And it's like, it would be nice if there was like a distribution. I would watch it, but I'm a basketball nerd. It would be nice if I think more and more young guys might get into it. Although I think the one thing that might kind of curb that, although I think there will be more coverage, right? But I do think the NBA, I just see them getting a little greedy and just expanding. I think instead of being like, well, fuck these other leagues, we're putting a team in Vegas, we're putting a team back in Seattle. And I think
Seattle needs a team though.
Seattle needs a team.
Seattle does.
I absolutely think we're going to see, I don't want it to expand because I like how I love that each team is, that what we're talking about now, where it's like, yeah, you can have these young, I mean, you even look at the Grizzlies, right? We talk about Ja. Triple J was out all fucking year. That guy's a stud, It's like you
Brooks can play
Dylan Brooks. It's like even these teams that like we don't think about that much. It's they're deep. They have talent. Even shit teams. I mean, the Kings for fuck's sake have Swiper. I love watching Swiper. You know what I mean? Like
we should have had him. That we should have gotten at least De'Aaron Fox in the Porzingis trade.
That was bad.
The fact that we got Dennis Smith haunts me to this day.
By the way, here's how good the NBA is. Like the Pistons go into a rebuild, but they signed Jeremy Grant, right?
Yeah.
Who's like 14 a game with 7 rebounds. Boom. The guy is like 22, 23 points a game. Like that guy is a pogo stick who's like tougher than you think, developed a jump shot. I mean, that's how good the league is, that there's like probably 24 guys like that if you gave them starters minutes and let them shoot 20 shots, they can really ball. I mean, it's so talent rich right now. I mean, the NBA would be smart if they started buying foreign teams. If they created a second NBA, I like the Premiership probably wishes they did that 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, they're expanding. I mean, they have the new league in Africa that's more of a development league for sure right now, but they definitely have global aspirations. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's and they're definitely investing in the G League. I mean, they just signed that. You see, they signed a 17-year-old, which is like, why not? He could work.
They got to pay these kids more though in the G League, because it's crazy what you make in the G League, and then the minimum NBA contract is just insane. So.
Dude, some of these kids are making $500K base plus all these the top.
Is that true? Wow.
Well, they have their new program where it's like they're basically trying to compete with the NCAA for top recruits. So they had that kid, I think, what's his name? Was his name Jalen Green, who signed like a $500K contract plus endorsements, and then you have what's
Kuminga
that?
Too.
Yep. Kuminga. They have a whole, and there's more. They just signed that 17-year-old that I'm talking about. This kid is like, all right, well, I'm not going my senior year of high school because I can work. And I'm going to I think his is cheaper, right? Some of them are like 150K. Some of them are like, whatever. But the other thing is, this program is very interesting. They have actual NBA, players that are on the team, guys that because this is the most scouted G League team there's going to be. So there's some, there's a reason to be on that team, and they have a real coach. I forget who the coach is, but it's somebody that's coached in the NBA before. And
is it bad that I kind of wish they didn't have their shit together with having teenagers come play? I kind of wish it was just like you're on your own, like troubled veterans taking them out to clubs.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Immediately going astray, developing bad habits.
Let's get the Clippers. Let's get Darius Miles to be the GM.
There was a moment like about 5-6 years ago, before the G League exploded, where there was some people in town talking about 6 or 7 kind of people getting together, and through Farrell, they were like, hey, do you guys want to like have a small stake in a G League team? And we started talking about maybe we could start a new team in Long Beach. And no one really cared back then. So I had this whole dream that we were going to call the team the Mentally Ill Cobras was going to be the name of the team. And even though there was no safety threats in the arena, we're going to have metal detectors everywhere, like create a really bad vibe. And every halftime would be one of our players would play anyone from the stands one-on-one for 20 grand. And so the player would really dunk on, like really play nasty against people. And foul.
Yeah.
Just
no fouls
into the arena. No foul.
Swallow your whistle, ref. Swallow your whistle against this accountant that we're going to dunk on.
There's something so joyous about watching Brian Scalabrine just fuck dudes up too.
Yeah,
the way
so funny.
These cocky dudes come into the gym and they're just like, I could beat you. And I'm like, he's still an NBA player. Like he's still, and he'd probably be better now than he was then, to be honest.
Yeah. It's go ahead.
They always go. I mean, I heard a story about Tony Parker playing in a pickup game and going like 20%. Some friend of mine was in the game and a guy was talking to him. This is all you got? You're a Hall of Fame player.
Hilarious.
And you could see Parker kind of roll his eyes and be like, all right, you get the game. And it was just, it was like a 30-year-old playing against like an infant at that point on. It was just like 30 points in a row, no return.
Yes. That's so funny. Tony Parker also, by the way, is the funniest. His like him fucking, I think Brent Barry's wife or whatever is the funniest little side plot of the NBA for like the Spurs. They're like, we do things the right way. We're a small market team. This is a family. By the way, our star point guard fucked the guy's wife, and then we cut the guy whose wife he fucked. And anyway, but other than that, our star player wears polos and long jeans. We're just regular, good old fashioned, a family team, a mom and pop shop.
Well, that's the thing. Is Brent Barry might be a good shooter, but he's not lighting up Chris Paul and Steve Nash in the playoffs. If you're gonna be a teammate fucker, you better bring it in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my favorite that's my favorite just completely glossed over aspect of the Spurs dynasty.
That is too funny. That's hilarious.
Anyway, Adam, I wanted to also talk about the I've been listening to Death at the Wing, which is so fucking good, dude. So we just want to point all our listeners over that if you haven't listened to it. So much good stuff about just you don't even expect the ways basketball and basically post Reagan policy intersected in the in America. And it was just like I thought a really smart way to tell these like complex stories in, basketball was the way in. I thought that was just a great idea to do it that way.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's always a story I've been interested in, that you saw so many guys, talented rising stars in basketball, die in the 80s into the 90s. And it's also, what's interesting too, is you watch this rise of the NBA, which is really an African-American sport, while at the same time, the right-wing revolution, which scapegoats people of color,
right,
is also rising and becoming more powerful and taking over America. So it once we dove into it, we had Jody Avirgan, who's an incredible podcast producer, Raghu Manavala and Brian Steele. Once we all dug into it, we just realized there was this crazy story at the root of it. But what's great about it is it's for hoops junkies, but at the same time, it's for political junkies. I've had a bunch of people who don't even like basketball say they're into it. I've had crazy hoops fans say they're into it. But it was a fascinating experience just diving into that. And I learned a ton while making it.
Yeah, I mean, you learn, I don't know, I learned so much, just like things you even know about. I mean, the Len Bias thing, which we all, like, I grew up in Maryland. We all talked about Len Bias. Even I thought it was literally crack. Like everyone, like I didn't even know that it was cocaine. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. The stuff, I thought it was like freebase or whatever. It's like these just like these ugly myths that just kind of get locked in here. And so we just wanted to shout that one out and make sure people go and listen to it for sure.
I appreciate it. Well, so I had mentioned to you, nothing more enjoyable than season end awards, all NBA teams.
Yes.
And respectfully to your show and the format of your show, I did write some all NBA teams.
We love
you
that.
Guys.
This is an honor.
We would love to. Yeah. We thank you so much. You have like 4 real jobs that you're incredibly successful at, and you prepare more for our podcast than we do. So then we appreciate it, man. Yes. Let's fucking do it. Let's do some fucking all NBA teams, some PDL,
by the way,
Adam McKay specials.
I hope there's like 2 scripts I was supposed to read from our company that we're producing that I didn't read this weekend because I spent time writing up this all NBA team. And my wife was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got to write these all NBA teams." And she's like, "Oh, what for like a magazine?" No, it's this podcast I really like. These guys are funny as shit. And I just want to have something. She just rolls her eyes at me. But
8,000 people that love the NBA and dick jokes need to listen to this, honey. Let's do it, baby.
First team that I brought you guys, and I'll give you my team, and then I'm sure you guys are going to come up with ones that are better. But I have the all looks like they more than occasionally smoke a cigarette team.
I love it.
All right, so I got Frank Kaminsky, who I think smokes Lucky Strike straights. I got Will Barton. He's got a little bit of the shaggy beard. I can see him around the corner stepping out just to get a little cigarette. This one's almost hacky because it's so obvious. I think he really does smoke cigarettes. Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah. Without question.
I've got Kelly Olynyk, who probably smokes cloves.
Cloves, cloves for sure.
I got Paul Millsap. Paul Millsap just looks like it's such a badass. I could see Paul Millsap pulling up in like an LTD with a cigarette and just like staring at you, and like you just leave. Like he just seems like an intimidating guy. And then my coach for the All Smokes Heaters team is Alvin Gentry.
Ooh, absolutely. Yes, because you know what? It's one of those rare. He's older than you'd think. He's one of those guys who's a little older than you think, and it's like, yeah, absolutely. He's just taking a little break, and he's like, "All right, fellas." He's got the cigarette in his mouth. Let's run some suicides, boys. That he's got that vibe to him 100%.
Honorable mention for coaches is Dwayne Casey, because he looks like a lot of panic smokes, like stress, like fuck my job. Yeah, let me just smoke some down.
Absolutely, white sleeves rolled up on the dress shirt, tie loose. Yeah, you could also do what all looks like the stressed out lieutenant in a cop buddy movie team too. That could be one.
That's
Dwayne-
Casey's all 5 of those.
Oh, absolutely.
I think you could give Terry Stotts smoker or stressed out.
Yeah, yep. Nate McMillan's definitely got some police lieutenant stressed out vibes to him. Doc Rivers' voice is the come on, that guy's voice was made to say, I'm taking your fucking badge. In that
Come on,
gravel.
guys. Give me your fucking badge.
That's a great list. The only one that's popping up in my head right now for smoke cigarettes is, I don't know if he's even still in the league. I mean, he might be on the end of the Sixers bench. He was bounced around, but Anthony Tolliver, you guys know he has those sunken weird eyes that just seem like he's been smoking cigarettes since he was 9 years old. So I'm gonna go.
I like him because you could see like a shadowy figure walks towards you, and then the match lights up the face, and it's Anthony Tolliver. Yeah,
and basically any European player, by the way.
Yeah,
Seti Osman.
I mean, my mind. This might be hacked too, but I mean, Marc Gasol is the body type.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
100%.
Yeah. He also drinks milk out of the carton.
Yeah,
Like he definitely. All right. Now, once again, I want to make clear that none of this is based on any fact whatsoever, because this next list is slightly insulting. Yes. I don't know any of these guys at all. I'm sure they're all wonderful, caring, giving people, but this is the all NBA looks like they're a secret Republican team. So I'm going John Collins.
Ooh,
okay.
This hurts Stav because
he's my crush. He's so cute. He's
very cute. There's no question about it.
But you're right. Guy. He looks like he's got some Carlton vibes to him. You know what I mean?
Little bit. Yep. It's like when I learned that Greg Anthony was a Republican. I was like, oh no.
Yes. And then you think about it. Yeah,
they
makes
break
sense.
Your heart. You see them like behind, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you're like, what's that person doing there?
I knew Greg Anthony was a Republican when I heard he paid for sex.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. All right. I got Dylan Windler for the Cavaliers.
Dylan Windler. All right.
I think that's his name, right?
I don't. What the fuck? I don't know. I don't know.
Look him up. If
Windler. Yes. Oh my God. That's how little Cavs I've watched that I didn't even know this guy existed.
He was a first round draft pick too. He could actually play a little bit. All right. I got Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, not even a secret. That's you mean MAGA Porter Jr.?
I got Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson's on here just because he's such a badass that he seems like one of those guys that's like, someone fucks with your family, they should get the electric chair. And you kind of don't really disagree with him. Like, you don't even really argue. You're like, you know what? For you should be a Republican.
You get a pass. Yes.
Yeah. And then I
love him, though. I love Taj so much.
Oh, by the way, I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure he's not a Republican.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm casting him in this fictional movie. Malcolm Brogdon feels like he's going to run for Congress someday.
Nah, he's a centrist though. Malcolm Brogdon's the all have no real opinions type of team. You know what I mean? He's
so right.
He's a big Kamala guy. You know what I mean? Malcolm Brogdon.
He's a total neoliberal. He believes in free trade.
100%.
Yeah, big free trade guy.
Yeah, he's talking about how complicated Israel and Palestine is right now. That's what.
I actually didn't do a coach on this, but who would you do? Let me think. Most of the coaches we hear talk a lot, and NBA coaches tend to be really cool. So Steve Kerr is kind of an awesome guy. Like Popovich speaks out in the right way. So I didn't really think of a guy for this.
Think here's my pick. And it's not because of his politics. It's because when someone's caught with a dead prostitute, he's the fixer, and that's Quinn Snyder. Quinn Snyder comes in, he buries the bodies, he doesn't ask too many questions. Right. He's like, all right, how many people know about this? Like, he takes your phone, he snaps it in half, you know?
I
always
know
thought
it would have
Quinn
been back in the
Snyder-
day. Oh, sorry.
Snyder looked like a guy who had seen something horrible
Exactly.
and has
Yes,
never gotten over it.
Sorry.
Like I always thought he looked like the Colonel from the Battle of Shiloh. Who,
Yeah.
I was by the North Creek, and you go, you were by the North Creek, and then he
Yes.
looks at you, and you realize he was by the North Creek. He saw. I was the one who yelled, "Fix bayonets" at Shiloh. Oh no! Like,
Yeah, let's just put it this way. He's seen what's on Matt Geitz's hard drives. He's the one who had to wipe those hard drives clean.
I got two for you, man. I got Luke Walton as one for sure.
oh,
interesting.
that's so good.
He's
That's
got
so
Ron
good.
DeSantos vibes for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
then,
good.
and then the godfather of the Republican squad, George Carl. Bring back an oldie.
Is he a
that's
Republican?
Perfect.
He's got
I
the
don't think-
vibes for me. The way he was to the players, where it was a little,
Yeah,
it felt
yeah,
a little
yeah.
Republican to me.
Right. Yes. I like who's the first guy you said?
Luke Walton.
Luke Walton.
Luke
I could-
Walton's really good.
Luke Walton's definitely the yeah. Carl's a weird one. Carl seems like the guy that's like, hey, I vote. He didn't vote for Hillary or Trump. You know, Carl feels like the guy that's like, I voted Gary Johnson. He's like, they're both crooks. Like he's got those vibes to me.
That's
Luke
good.
Walton wrote in Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah. Love it. That's a great one.
All right, now I have the all Doug Christie team, which
Yes.
these are dudes who, once again, I have no factual basis for any of this, but guys who look like they have really dominating wives who run the entire show and just quietly stand in the background.
Yes.
All right, I got Derek White from the Spurs.
Okay.
Derek, here's my theory on this. Derek White, really good basketball player, by the way, but
Yeah.
looks like a guy who like met the hottest woman in San Antonio, who was like a real estate agent. And Derek White's whole life is just based on like he plays really hard defense and plays 110%. And this woman took him into like parties and like social circles he's never seen that he can't really hang in. So he kind of quietly sits next to her, and she openly calls herself Mrs. Derek White, and he's cool with it. And so that's my theory on him. Then I go Brandon Ingram. Just because he doesn't give a shit.
The body
Like,
language.
He doesn't give a shit. He married a woman so hot that like you can't be within 10 feet of her without like your heart rate shooting up, like you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he's totally cool. If she wants to bankrupt him, he's fine with it. He's like, whatever you say, baby, and just like lounges around. So
I like that. He slouches like a man whose spirit's been broken by his wife.
For sure.
He feels like he should be 2 inches taller, but he just slouches too much.
Then I got Kevin Knox, and here's my thinking on this.
It hurts, and you're right.
Why isn't that guy any good? There's no reason. He's got size. He could shoot. He's from Kentucky. I think he met someone. I think he met Katrina his second week in Manhattan, and she has ripped him apart. Everyone in the Knicks knows what this woman has done to him.
Right.
She's destroyed a player, but yet no one's going to say to Kevin, you should stop seeing Katrina.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. There is some like rich Manhattan girl that got her claws into him because he's 19. Or you know what? It's a cougar. It's a cougar that's just taken it. It's basically her son husband. She's like, can I go to shoot around? And he's like, no. You have to do the dishes and eat my pussy before you can do anything today.
I think she clawed right after that summer league. The second the season started, it was over.
And I got Luguentz Dort for the Thunder. And here's my thinking on this. It's a cultural thing that he actually doesn't think that he's pee-whipped. But I don't know what country Dort's from. Is he German? Is that where he's from?
No.
I can't remember.
Wait,
but whatever
is this Dort from the Thunder?
Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever it is, I don't know exactly what country he's from, but I just figure there's gotta be like some country where like your wife, of course, runs everything. And of course you don't talk in front of her. And so Dort is he's like a badass on the court. He's ripped. He plays tenacious defense. And then I think you would go to dinner with him and his wife would openly tell him to shut up in front of you. And you kind of look at your wife and be like, what's going on here?
Yeah. The reason his contract is so shitty is because his wife found out a way to go behind his back in the Thunder, just pay her directly. That's why he's on a 4-year, $5 million deal. Because his wife's it's going directly into her fucking bank account.
I think Hesh from The Sopranos made him sign that contract.
That's it's got real Motown vibes for sure.
And then I got Alex Len on this list. My thinking is Alex Len met like a total killer, crazy hot woman from like Latvia who's actually mobbed up and is like draining his account. And in like 4 years, they're going to find Alex Len like in a drainage ditch off a road in like, Estonia or something.
Yeah. He's actually like the best player of all time, but she's like, throw every game you're in. We're betting the under. We're betting the under on your FanDuel over-under points. I love that. That's great. Well, we know who the coach. Are you done with the players there? Because I don't want to cut you off.
Who's the coach? Who do you got?
Without question, it's Mike Budenholzer.
No question.
Without question,
no
it's the absolute cuck of all cucks, Mike Budenholzer. That little fish Simpson from the Gil from The Simpsons face he has on constantly. And our hypothesis is that he is not that bad a coach. He just fucks up his rotations in the playoffs because his wife, he's into humiliation, and his wife likes to see. You see what they're saying about you on ESPN? You little fucking pig, you little fuck pig. They say you sit Giannis too long, and he's like, yes, mistress, I do. While she's got his balls in a vice.
Did you know Budenholzer was originally who Scorsese cast in Taxi Driver as the guy in the back seat, making De Niro pull up and say, look up there. You know what's going on in there? You should see what a shotgun will do to a woman's beep. I'm married with kids, so I can't actually say those lines. But Budenholzer was originally cast as that role, and then he wasn't a great actor, so Scorsese took it at the last minute.
Yeah.
I got a great sixth man for this team.
Let's hear
PJ
it.
Washington. Who,
Oh,
I don't know if you saw the pictures with his wife, but they're both shirtless. She's pregnant and he's like spooning her from behind. And it's like, dude, no man signs up for that unless she's calling the shots. It's
That's
crazy.
Awesome. That's
a really good one.
Google image PJ Washington and wife pregnant. You're going to be like, this is insanity.
The opposite of this team is Lou Williams, of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, two girls like Lou Will, baby. That's on my vision board is Lou Williams. And also, by the way, big win for us, Adam. Us Thor Ragnarok guys. I don't know if you saw that picture of Taika Waititi floating around, but he was making out with not only he was Rita Ora and I'm blanking the woman who played the Valkyrie in the movie.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow.
He like Taika, man, that guy just keeps winning, and that movie keeps becoming the best Marvel movie.
When Scorsese was bad mouthing the Marvel movies, I was like, look, I get where you're coming from. You're Martin Scorsese. You're allowed to do this.
Of course.
Just watch Thor Ragnarok.
It'll be a good time, Marty.
It's legitimately a great movie. Like it takes you into a world. It doesn't feel like Marvel. Like you can't diss Marvel movies because of Thor Ragnarok.
Goldblum is such a great villain.
Oh, he's amazing in that.
He's so good. You don't have to sell me. I've seen that movie so many times on and off mushrooms and acid. So it's
I've made my wife watch it. I've made both my daughters watch it. I make everyone watch that movie.
We're two of the biggest Ragnarok heads in comedy, baby.
Totally.
I love it. Love that team. You have any more? I got a couple here myself.
Please jump on in, Stav.
So here we go, and this one is a concept that's been around, but I say we refresh it for some of the current NBA players, and this is all-time players that sound like they're hot girls. We got a lot of good, of course, starting with both Brooke and Robin Lopez. That's just insane. Brooke and Robin or Lopez. I mean, I don't need to hear anymore. If my friend was like, yeah, I got this girl, Robin Lopez is so into you, I'd be like, oh my God, dude, when I don't need to know anything. I don't need to see a picture. I'm in. Then, of course, we have Sam's favorite, Kelly Oubre. Could go either way.
Could go either way. Well, throw in Olynyk, too. We're rocking Kelly's.
Kelly Olynyk. Oubre's just got that French. Olynyk feels too, Oubre's got something French, something more exotic. Olynyk feels a little more down and dirty to me, Kelly Olynyk, I don't know that I want to. Kelly Olynyk's like, all right, if I can't fuck Kelly Oubre and it's closing time, I'll hit up Kelly Olynyk. See what she's
Pittsburgh.
up to. Yeah. She makes me shotgun a beer before she'll let me fuck her. See if I can do it.
Oubre is the hottest player in the NBA.
Listen, he's pretty cute.
He's a good-looking guy.
He's a handsome dude.
He is.
And then somebody whose name gives me the attractive version of Kelly Olynyk. That's Patty Mills. That's a down and dirty type. That's a down and dirty type girl. It's like, oh, you don't tell anyone. No one knows you've ever hooked up with Patty, but you've been seeing her on again, off again for 8 years because she's that good at fucking. Then we have Precious Achua. He's a rookie, but you're like, Precious is hot. I don't know what's going on with her. And then this one is like it feels like an androgynous Euro chick, and it's Nemanja Bjelica. It's like, I don't really know. Is she a man? Is she a woman? But she's like, they're 6'2", they have incredible bone structure, and whatever genitals they got, you're gonna be into it. That's what I feel about Nemanja Bjelica.
I got a good one for you, dude.
Yeah, please.
Yuta Watanabe.
That's a really good.
You know she's in the facials.
Yeah.
She was married to David Bowie, wasn't she?
Yeah. Yuta Watanabe.
There's a Senegalese woman whose dad was a diplomat from London, Ish Smith.
Yeah. And those are the current players. There's also some retired Hall of Famers, obviously, including Sasha Vujacic, of course. Like Sasha.
Oh, that's good.
Sasha?
Beautiful.
That's good.
And Lindsay Hunter just sounds like you could type that into Pornhub right now, and there's female porn stars named Lindsay Hunter. And my favorite, Meta World Peace is like some girl who's like into crystals and incense. It's like some girl with dread she's been working on for years. And finally, the hottest one for me by far, a classic, a real throwback, is Kiki Vandeweghe.
That's good. That's really good.
So
Kelly Tripucka is like the girl you're like friends with.
Yeah.
Who like while you're chasing her hot friend.
Yes.
And you might make out with Kelly Tripucka a couple times, but both it'll never be.
It'll never
just
work.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I got a good one for you.
Go ahead.
Avery Bradley.
Oh, Avery Bradley's good. I never even considered that one. Love Avery Bradley. God. Avery's definitely a hot.
I got one more.
Hit me, dude. Hit us.
Dana Barros.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good one. Dana Barros is really good. Yeah.
She did porn after Facts of Life.
Yeah, she was on Facts of Life. She dated Boner for 2 episodes on Family Ties, and then she was right to porn after that. All right, that's
what last current.
Go ahead.
Austin Rivers.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Little preppy girl named Austin.
Can Austin be a girl's name?
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's just hot guy Austin Rivers.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good list. I like that.
Yeah, and then the last one I have is not players, but I know, and the other thing we didn't even really talk about, but I'm sure you're working on right now. I don't even know how much you can say, but I'm pumped for the Showtime Lakers
Yes.
series you got going on. Every casting thing that leaks out, everything it just seems fucking perfect.
The Larry Bird news sounds pretty cool.
Larry Bird is so awesome. It's literally like, no joke, to hear that you're making a Showtime Lakers like series is like somebody just incepted TV shows I want to see. You know what I mean? It's just a complete collision of things I love the most, of media I love the most. But
it's been so enjoyable. It is like a dream project, and it's from, you were saying you were reading the book, it's from Showtime by Jeff Pearlman, and it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I literally cannot wait to see it. And so in honor of that, because I've been reading the book and just all the crazy stories about it. And in honor of Jerry Buss, who is one of the fucking funniest, weirdest guys of all time. I had some idea that he like was a poon hound, but I had no idea the extent to what he was. So in honor of Jerry Buss, we're going to do the owners that fuck the most, the top 5 owners that fuck. So we have obviously number 1, Jerry Buss. The man was, fuck. He was sharing women with his players, which is insane. The idea that you would go to the Forum Club and it's like Magic and Jerry might have the same girlfriend is hysterical to me. That
no
he was
question.
One of the boys on
one.
that level.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But then, it's tough I gotta be honest, this is a little more challenging than sounds like a hot woman. Michael Jordan is obviously the Hornets owner. He's got to be up there. I mean, he's fucking Michael Jordan. Then we're talking Mickey Aronson, just because he's got that little slimy. He's like a fat tan, like
I like Mickey Aronson. That's good.
Like cruise ship guy, and he's in Miami. Are you kidding me? He's been on the business end of a couple BBL surgeries. Let's put it that way. Mickey Aronson.
He's got Michael McDonald vibes.
Yeah. He's yacht rock on his fucking. He lets you take out the cruise ship for like just to do donuts in the harbor. And then after that, it's kind of looking rough. We got Robert Parra only because he's young and sort of hot. He's like 36 or whatever. Although in doing my research, I learned he had to quit high school basketball because of a heart condition. So you got to think, does that affect his cock? Is it safe for him to even take dick pills?
Yeah, it's good you did your research. We don't want to leap into any of these. We don't want to be embarrassed by any of these choices.
Yeah, I haven't looked up too many stats, but I looked up if Robert Parra's cock works or not.
Stop. There's one I'm shocked you've left off so far.
Hit me with it, dude.
Tom Gore's your boy.
Well, that's important. That's good that you bring that up, because in listening to Death at the Wing, I learned that Tom Gore's makes some of his money off the prison industrial complex.
Yeah.
And I am no longer officially gay for Gores. It's out. Even though I used to have a real thing for Gores, Adam. He just looked like the idealized version of Richard Grieco to me, if things had gone right for Grieco. And there was something about that slimy middle, like Mediterranean, Middle Eastern rich guy thing that just played for my Greek roots. But no longer do I want to have the Jerry Buss experience with Tom Gores. I'm out on Tom Gores now.
Wow.
In fact, there's a whole least fuckable owners, and Gores is on it now. Of course, the DeVos family, fuck them. Magic,
for sure.
They can suck my dick. And the Cronkies, of course. We've got all that Walmart money and own a bunch of. Isn't
the owner of the Rockets gambling casino guy?
Tillman Fertitta can suck my. He's a piece of shit as well. He's a cheese.
But he probably has crazy amounts of sketchy sex if he's involved in the casino world, right?
That's true.
Or you know what he's done? He probably hasn't participated, but he's stood in rooms
with
like a flute of champagne, watching a couple have sex. And said things like, she's a very beautiful woman to her husband, who's also watching.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. He 100%. The Rockets guy is 100%. He Tillman Fertitta does that. Not only that, I'll take it a step further. He goes. He gets a young guy that looks sort of like him, but is like jacked, and he watches that guy fuck women. He does the straight. He goes straight Liberace. Instead of cloning a guy
Howard Hughes in a James Ellroy novel.
Yeah. He's like, how's our new crop of Tillmans looking? How's this season's Tillmans?
He's been trying for 3 years to see if he could get a woman to make love to a tiger. And he just can't. It's not safe. I'm telling you, we can't do it. Why? I mean, I have the money.
Yes, I love it. That's my top fives. I think that's what we got there. But really
I like
great.
that list. That's like season 2 of True Detective list
Wow.
right there. That had that vibe to it.
100%. But yeah, man, that's I think we did some good stuff here. Adam, we don't want to keep you too long. We know you got a bunch of shit to do, but we really appreciate you coming on and doing the show, man.
Thank you.
It's
so
my
much,
pleasure.
Adam.
And I have to tell you, the whole time we've been doing these ridiculous lists, my associate producer is sitting over here to my left, and she's tapped her watch like 3 times at me because we have to get back to work. We have an edit for like a screening coming up that we're working on. And I've seen her respect for me just play. Wasn't that high to begin with? It was like a C+ to begin with. And now it's like a D- by the end of this. Yeah.
That's the PDL bounce, baby. You do this podcast, the people in your life respect you less. That's our guarantee.
Adam, thank you so much for doing this, man. We're big fans, and
we're huge fans. Yeah,
really,
this is awesome,
it's really been
dude.
cool.
Thank you, dude.
Sam, Stavros, thanks guys for having me. And honestly, I'm a fan of the podcast, and I will be listening all through this Knicks run. And I'm sending you guys love and light and every miracle there is for the
Thank
Knicks.
you.
It's got to happen. I want to see what's his name, Nicolina or Nicotina. How do you say his last name?
Frankie Smokes, Frank Ntilikina.
Yeah, I want to see Frankie Smokes hit a game winner. Then everything in the world will be right.
Absolutely. It'll
love
turn
him.
everything around. We'll go back in time to 2008. Trump doesn't win. There's no COVID, or 2016. Trump, it's like one Frankie Smokes at the buzzer, and it's like we're all 8 years younger and everything's good in the world.
It's got to happen.